Hello, this is Sabrina Mina, and I'm sharing the Feelings Pod with you. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. This week's episode is about generosity and humility. And the last time I did, I think, an episode about patience. When I did the episode about patience, one of the questions I was asking is, are, personality like traits or these kinds of characteristics, are they related to the realm of emotions? And yes, but I think it's really interesting to think about how they're related. So while humility isn't necessarily an emotion, it is a quality of being that brings up emotion. And the same goes with generosity. It's a characteristic, a personality trait. And so when I think about generosity, when I think about patience, when I think about humility, these are all characteristics I think that we generally strive towards. Perhaps. At least I do. At least I'd like to think I do most of the time. So when I'm moving towards being more patient, being more generous, having more humility, this is an energy of expansion. It increases the amount of joy that I experience in my life. So these qualities of being really are ways that we can increase joy in our life. So when I talk about patience, when I talk about generosity, when I talk about humility, I suppose as I'm speaking, the realization that's coming to me is that as we cultivate these kinds of ways of being, our capacity for joy, connection, love expands. So, why am I thinking specifically about generosity and humility this week? Well, because for over 200 days now, Israel has been committing genocide in Gaza. And witnessing these atrocities since October, we're now in the month of May, almost June, witnessing the unfathomable suffering of our brothers and sisters in Gaza has prompted many of us, certainly me, to reflect on how am I living my life in a way of what am I contributing, essentially? What do I have to offer in the face of darkness, in the face of intense grief and sadness and pain and rage and frustration? How do we resource ourselves? And essentially, it's by returning to for me, it's been returning to this idea of when I feel incredibly helpless, what is it that I have to offer? What are the abundant gifts that exist, that are easily within my reach, that I can offer another for the sake of not only helping someone else, but essentially in an effort to help another ease their pain or suffering. I am easing my own pain and suffering. I am giving myself a sense of release, a sense of relief from this idea, this major psyop that we're fed in a capitalist system, that the individual is hopeless and helpless and is only is limited in their capacity to create change, in their access to power. And so I've been really asking myself and sitting with myself and wondering, what do I have to offer? What can I do? How can I notice moments when I feel despair and not just be completely swallowed whole by the depth of grief? And one of the things that has helped me is, this desire to offer something, this quality of generosity is about really giving with a sense of from this place of abundance. True generosity, in my view, is really the ability to give without really expecting anything in return. In fact, in the experience of giving, you give to yourself. Giving to another is a gift to yourself. And I'd even take that a step further. Giving nothing is lost when we offer our gifts in abundance and generosity. There's this idea, again, I'll tie it to capitalism, that there should be an exchange, this quid pro quo, this idea that I give you something, I should get back in return. So the reason I'm linking humility to generosity is because if you're giving from a place where you feel like you're owed something in return, there's a lack of integrity there, I would argue. I would argue that in order to really truly give from a place of abundance and care and from a generative place, we have to let go of our attachments to this idea that I need to know where this is going. And like the way a lot of people justify not giving charity, for example, is they'll make this argument that like, oh, they're just going to use it for XYZ. Or that's just, they're just like running a scam. Or like with this kind of view this like view of suspicion. So like clearly generosity doesn't exist there. Like there's an unwillingness to give, and so we try to justify that or ease the guilt of not wanting to give by saying there's something essentially wrong with the act of giving. So for example, a really simple example that I see all the time is folks who say, oh, you shouldn't give somebody who's begging for money on the street. You shouldn't give them money because you're really not helping them. Or, they're probably just going to use it for whatever, like sex, drugs, rock and roll. Who the fuck knows? Ooh. I think that was the first time I dropped an F-bomb on my podcast, but here we are. Maybe not. Anyway, I won't let it take me off track. Generosity, humility. Yeah. Generosity and humility go hand in hand because when you give from a place of love and abundance and non-attachment. You give freely. That is really the spirit of generosity. So why am I bringing this up? And what does this have to do with Gaza? I think maybe that's quite clear. I share a lot on my social media about lately about GoFundMe campaigns, people literally desperately trying to escape genocide, trying to escape their murderers. And so, I've had so many folks from Gaza reach out to me asking me, can you please share my campaign? Can you please help raise awareness? Can you please let people know I'm desperately trying to get my family out? And in fact, when someone has the courage to set aside their ego, to set aside their pride, to set aside the fear of rejection, when someone has the courage with humility to ask for support, to ask for assistance, to ask for help, in fact, that's a gift. I see that as a gift. Anytime someone asks me for help, I see it as a gift. Not anytime. I mean, sometimes I see it as a burden, if I'm being quite honest. Not in this particular scenario, but sometimes someone in my day-to-day life will ask me for something and annoyance will come up because the thing that's being asked of me is not something that I want to give. So, in the case of my Palestinian brothers and sisters, I can't give enough. No matter what I do, no matter what I say, no matter what I share, no matter how much I donate, I have this sense that I have to do more. It's this, which I have to check sometimes because in order to give generously, we have to be able to be fully resourced. We have to be able to give from a place of abundance. And so the step of giving generously with humility is, I'm not owed anything. The gift, and it sounds cliche, it sounds trite, and it's said time and time again, but truly, the gift is in the giving. The gift is in recognizing, wow, I am in a state of abundance. I am in a state of having something that I can offer to someone that can really impact their lives in a meaningful way. And what a gift it is that I'm in a position to give. But at the same time, I'm receiving. And in Islam, we view charity as a kind of spiritual protection. It's this energetic exchange that, all of we have a myriad of ways that abundance exists in our lives, simply by, if you can think of something as simple as the air we breathe, there is an infinitely abundant supply of air that I breathe into my lungs, of life-giving oxygen that in every moment I breathe into my lungs. How can I use this breath to create more abundance in my life? We are at home on this abundant earth that holds us and carries us and feeds us and nourishes us and nurtures us in so many ways. I have the wealth of my health. I have the wealth of my community, my family. I have the wealth of love in my life. This abundant source of love that comes from within me and from without me. From within and from without. And yes, I also have access to material abundance. I have a home. I have access to food. I'm food secure. My family is food secure. I have access to medical services, mental health services, education. This is where my power lies. This is how I'm able to show up in the world and make a difference. And from this place, it's easy to cultivate a spirit of generosity because it is humbling. It is humbling to sit down and really mindfully be aware of the richness of our lives. It is a gift to be able to give generously from a place of humility, from a place of, I give with love, I give with generosity, and I trust that what I give is going to the right place. I'm not owed an explanation. I'm not owed any receipts. And I've noticed this kind of individuals reaching out on social media and asking me for a donation or asking me to share a campaign. And, it's exhausting to go through the mental gymnastics of, oh, is this legit? Is this person running a scam? Is this person that's like a scarcity mindset. I choose to trust and of course, like, there's discernment. But for the most part, I would like to be a person who can offer from a place of generosity, humility, abundance, care, love. And if something doesn't feel right, if something feels off, then that feeling of wanting to give, it contracts. And I listen to that. I listen to, where can I give? But I also listen to, is this where I want to give? Thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and I hope it's given you something new to think about in terms of generosity and humility and abundance and gratitude and hope in times of despair. If you liked this episode, please share it, pass it along to somebody who you feel would also enjoy it. You can also leave a review. I am always delighted to hear from you and get your feedback. If you'd like to connect with me more, I'm on Instagram at _Sabrina Amina _. Let's get into our practice for today. Find a comfortable seat. We're going to just do some mindful breathing for a couple of minutes. Find an easeful position. Allow the eyes to close. And tune into the breath. Notice the inhale through your nose. Notice the belly fill. And exhale. Allow yourself to really slow yourself down. Slow the body down with your breath. With each breath, move more slowly and more intentionally. Notice the flow of breath in your nose. Notice the expansion of your belly. And as you breathe out, notice the belly contract. Notice the feel of your breath as it leaves your body. Take a deep breath in. And let it go. Take a deep breath in. And let it go. Allow the body to be light. Imagine the head is floating towards the clouds, and the shoulders gently melt down the back. Allow the jaw to relax. Allow all expression in your face to just melt away. Continuing to breathe deeply in and breathe out. Noticing the shoulders, noticing the chest and the heart space. Place the hands gently over the heart and feel your heartbeat as you continue to breathe in and breathe out. Notice the belly. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Notice the hips and the sit bones. Notice the support beneath you. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Notice your thighs, your knees. Breathe in and breathe out. Continue to bring your awareness to your shins. Notice your calves. Notice your ankles. Breathe in and breathe out. Notice any kind of sensation in your feet. Notice the tops of your feet. Notice your heels. Notice the arches of your feet. Notice the very bottom of your feet. Notice your 10 toes. And tuning into a bit of gratitude for the feet that ground us, the feet that move us through this life, the feet that help us balance. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Bring the attention back to the heart space, cultivating a sense of love, expansion, gratitude. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And as we close the practice, you can slowly come back to the room. Allow the eyes to flutter open. Looking at the space around you as if it's the very first time you've been here. Noticing with this quality of wonder and curiosity, love and excitement. What do you notice in this moment that you haven't noticed before? And I invite you to set the intention to move through your day with this quality of presence. Notice the moments throughout your day when you can take a full deep breath and look around you with new eyes. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I'm so grateful to be connected with you. Have a wonderful day.